just whisper for this whole entire podcast?
It would probably be better for my voice.
We shouldn't do it.
Yeah, probably not.
Salience.
Opposition.
Bird in a Cage.
Here we are. The first song you ever wrote.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The first 4 bars of piano music that ended up being this. I wrote ukulele songs, but big boy songs. This was graduated.
Big boy song.
Yeah, because I identify as a big boy.
B-O-I boy. Okay.
I'm a big old jazz boy. Gosh, what a great start to an episode. Can't be too serious though.
Episode starts are always rough, I feel.
Yeah. Last one, we tried to go for serious. A joke serious.
You got it on tape. So.
Yeah. Bird in a Cage, the penultimate song of the album. What a guy.
Virtually unchanged from
Yeah.
your original endeavor.
Yeah. And there's a lot of reasons why that's so that we'll kind of get into, but the song will definitely always have a extra special fond place in me for a lot of reasons. Writing your first 4 bars of music on the keyboard when you had such a weird relationship with it and it feeling good. Wow. Having this song come to fruition so early on in the journey of trying to get this album to a completed spot. We added a lot. We'll talk about that, but like the core of it is completely the same. I think the meaning and the essence and the narrative of this song rings true in such a deep way for me. It's like a friend.
Sure.
It's like a friend that I kind of grown with. So, Cassidy's History Corner. That's so stupid that we started calling it that. But,
You're sick of it.
I'm sick of it. I think it's so funny, but I've said it every single time. So I'm like, I can't not say it. It's like a formal mark.
Who knows how much time people are spending between each of these episodes? We don't even know.
Okay, well, here's History Corner. Kind of already said it. Yeah, like I wrote the verse chords, and this was like right when I was going through everything that I mentioned in the intro episode, and I just had this overwhelming feeling of I need to write a record. I didn't think I could sing. I had no experience. I had no concept of what that meant, but it was just, I have to do this, and here we are today. Not just making a record, but like a whole dang podcast to go to it too. Committed.
Yeah, you can say that again. What an experience.
She's got issues, but she does not have commitment issues.
To your art.
To my art.
To your making your music.
Yeah. Yeah.
You were talking about Chopin, right? And what he said about...
I now tell the piano the things that I used to tell you. I used to have you, and now I write songs.
Yeah. That's the classic shit.
You'll see more of that in the guitar EP that we're about to record. Classic. So yeah, I wrote this song after I realized I had spent so much time blaming external circumstances for my unhappiness and shortcomings, when in reality I was the blame for the position I had found myself in. So reminiscent of Moonlight, odd that both of these songs I wrote before I had any sort of awareness towards codependency. But like I said before, the same thing rings true with Bird in a Cage that rang true with Moonlight. Of I was still going through these tumultuous relationships. Just musically was the biggest one that I was dealing with, being in music school and kind of having this lifelong battle of like, where do I belong in music? I just don't know. And of course, the same fundamental problems that I had that surface in relationships was surfacing in my relationship with music. Thus, we birth these songs that deal with the same subject matter. We just don't realize that they're going to apply in such a huge way to this like album-wide concept, autobiographical narrative in the future. So the purpose of the song is it's kind of basking in and experiencing the freedom that you gain when you realize and accept that you are an imperfect being. Like, duh. Mm-hmm. You hear from the age of 2, like, nobody's perfect. If you mess up, just say you're sorry and don't hit the kid with the bat again. You know?
Wow. Like, what were you doing in your
Hey, you shouldn't throw the metal can that Tinker Toys go in at your brother. But like, hey, it's okay. Like, I actually did do that.
Ow.
Yeah. And then I didn't get to pick my grandma up from the airport as punishment.
Wow.
Still get sad about that. But you
You
hear
don't
from
forget
such a
about
young
those
age,
things.
like, nobody's perfect. But those are these type of cliches that they're almost overdone and oversaid, that like it's hard to relate to what they actually mean and understand how they actually show up in your life. Like, I remember having a similar realization of talk about not really knowing how, like, or not realizing or relating to anger a lot. Another thing that I didn't relate to is fear. Like, when I was in a practice room and didn't want to improvise and I felt all these feelings, it took me so long to name what I was experiencing was fear. Like, I was afraid to
I feel
do
like
that.
all the time.
You know?
When the answer is fear, you fear that it's fear, so you don't acknowledge that it's fear.
And it's this crazy thing. Yeah. So same thing. It's like, of course you should accept and recognize that you yourself are an imperfect being, but it's just one of those things that's so obvious that you miss it. It's hidden in plain sight. But when you do accept that and get over all of these like perfectionist tropes, or at least know how to manage them on a day-to-day basis, it's like living with perfectionism. Like, you never get over it.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you
Hi, my name is Aaron Walters, and I'm a perfectionist.
Hi,
Yeah,
Aaron.
hi, Aaron.
Yeah, it's like, you got to get the tools, you got to do the work, you got to do it, and you have to be motivated by the end result that is ultimately better than letting perfectionism or these other things win, right? So this song is supposed to showcase the good that can come from overcoming your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So lyrically, this song is an exploration of wanting to change. I realize I am what can cause that very change, similar to Moonlight, but kind of in a different way. Moonlight is realizing, like, I need to change and become vulnerable.
Right.
It's almost more general.
It's tool number one. It's being externally vulnerable.
Yeah. True.
Right. And this bird in the cage is like
Tool number 2, internal.
The key, this last key, is applying that internal tool.
Yes.
Right.
Which the key to that is acceptance.
Acceptance.
You can't use that tool unless you realize that you need that tool.
And that's the
and
nature
that's what
of the
it
tool,
is.
because the tool is being authentic and vulnerable.
Yeah.
Right. So being authentic means you're also using it because you're being authentic. It's like Inception, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, the nature of codependency is that you are relying on other people's perceptions of you. And that's where you get your validation from. There is no constant, reliable, secure source of inner validation.
Yeah.
You need it.
If you're authentic internally, one could say that is an overcoming of codependency.
Correct.
You're finally acknowledging that your authentic self.
Yep. And this is how we talked about the relationship between codependency and perfectionism. The perceptions are created by a facade that is fueled by perfectionism. Like, if I can just show to the world that I have all my shit together and I'm highly accomplished, let's short little tangent. I love the Enneagram. Every time I paid for the test, and I very through and through am an Enneagram 3, which is an achiever. And the trope of the 3 is that the way that you feel like you experience love is through accomplishments. It's like you equate the love that people give you when you accomplish something. It's like, it's not unconditional. It's like, I need to keep on achieving so that I get this validation, because that's what love really is. And if I'm not achieving and I'm not putting on this show, or if I can't manipulate it's not ever like, it's not like narcissistic manipulation, but it's like you want to be perceived a certain way. So then you do certain things, you hide certain things, you showcase certain things to create in other people's minds how they perceive you. Then you get all this validation from that. And then it's just this, like, it shoots into codependency. They go hand in hand. I don't know how you would be a perfectionist without displaying some level of like codependent.
Interesting, because I consider myself a pretty hardcore perfectionist, and everything you just said about Enneagram 3 sounds very similar to me.
Yeah.
Interested in think about that.
Yeah.
But also, Enneagram stuff, I sometimes think it gets carried away.
It does get carried away.
People rely on it to like define them, and
that's inherently wrong.
Yeah.
I would say they just don't know enough about it.
Well, I feel like the majority of people who look at Enneagram end up using to be like, I can only work with like 4s really, because like I'm this number, and like this, and I think can get kind of like weird.
Yeah, I feel pretty
think
confident in saying that like they just haven't dug deep enough.
Surely.
And they're using it.
I respect it for sure.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of,
I agree.
Popping in.
I agree.
Popping in to have an opinion about that.
I agree. But it's super, super helpful, and it shouldn't be this like stagnant, finite thing. That's not the point. It's a tool for growth. Like once I learned that I was a 3, I learned what an unhealthy 3 looked like, and how I took on characteristics and traits of other kind of numbers. Or if you're a healthy 3, you can like ascend and take on traits and characteristics of other numbers. And it's
I was gonna say
like a web.
No one should ever really be one number.
No.
Right? I think
it's
people
totally a
think
web.
about Enneagram and they're like, I'm this number.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can be more than that, I think.
Oh, least favorite thing is when people use it as an excuse. It's like, well, same with astrology. I think when people are like, well, I'm this, so I can't do anything. It's like, well,
it's all made up.
I know enough about astrology to know that people who are deep in it don't use it like that. You know, whatever. Okay. So musically, I wanted this song to be the most jazz inspired for integrity's sake, right? Like, again, because I was coming from a more coming from my musical relationship standpoint for this song, it's like I can't be writing a song about wanting to be free without putting myself in the position of having to do the thing that I struggle the most with, which is improvise and play in this like jazz context and be free. You know, like jazz is inherently free, I think, in a certain vein, whatever. So if I were going to write a song about breaking free from my own like mental change, I should tackle my biggest fear in executing the song. And boy, I was so scared. Like I maintained a lot of control over this song. This was one that we didn't really like come up with a demo or a plan before going to the recordings. It kind of got left behind.
Very jazz mentality.
Yeah, very jazz mentality. And then, man, like I love listening back to my piano part. I mean, seriously, like I hardly slept the night before because I was like, I'm going to be in a recording studio with 2 other people and they're going to hear me play this. Like I couldn't take it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened. It was a magical day, but like I felt the inspiration. I was able to connect.
2 people that are very supportive.
Oh, totally.
Nate Felty on drums, super supportive.
We didn't do that first.
Oh, really? Oh, it was just the piano by itself.
It was just piano.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
And then everything kind of came after that.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, again, this is an example. One of the few things that I wasn't present for before I got the music.
Yeah, which is awesome
just internalize.
So, I was petrified because I was the first person that kind of like stepped out into the song and had a stake in like creating. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Having 2 other people in the room while I put myself out there was terrifying, but you know, it rose to the occasion. It was good. It was good. And I love everything that I played. So the duality is trapped versus free. Very simple, but
Birdie cage.
Poignant.
But are they going to be in the cage?
Yeah.
Forever?
I don't know.
We will see.
Why don't you look at the pointillism picture? You can figure it out.
Oh boy, where'd it go? Where'd it go?
Yeah. So, for onboarding, you know, a lot of the stuff was already there. In addition, this was a song that I had worked with you.
Probably the most in lessons, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, we talked about Willing deeply, but like you came back after working on this one like multiple times.
Willing, or do you mean Light
Willow? Willow. Yeah, we talked about Willow very decidedly, but this one, it was like, take it, do these things, come back. Okay, let's talk about it more. Take it, do some more things, come back, let's talk about it some more. You know, that we had a couple lesson cycles on this that like really brought it somewhere.
Right. And even for us, this was one that kind of got left behind because it was one of the most done.
Yeah, it just like worked.
Yeah, and then when we came back to it, we're like, okay, same type of situation that we had with Willow Weeping, which was like, okay, now that we've kind of fully fleshed out the rest of the record, it's still missing some things. How do we bring it in so that it's fully cohesive with everything else? That was our main.
We'll play a couple of those really cool little elements.
Yeah. I think we're ready to jump in.
Well, one thing just about onboarding that I just want to really emphasize is that it's like I could not believe that this was your first song you ever made. Like, there's so much great integrity, so much great compositional nuance that are just already there, and I think that that's really potent to be penultimate on this record. Just like, you know what, here's the first thing I ever freaking wrote after all that other shit that I did, and it's barely touched. Like, I don't I don't need all of these things to make my music better. I choose to add depth and ingenuity to my story with these past songs and all these things that we've done on these past songs.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, thanks. Large Dimension overview. Something that we kept in mind was that this was kind of like Moonlight's sister song. It is, right?
Yeah.
Because we get the tools in Moonlight. We exemplify tool number 1 in Moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
And then we take a little break with Willow Weeping and If I Knew. And then this is when we demonstrate tool number 2.
Yeah.
And you could argue, like, if you played these songs side by side, that they have well, first of all, they're kind of in 6/8. They're kind of more of the jazz inspired songs. They both have upright bass. They have similar qualities.
Yeah, brushes, like, you know, string themes and in the interludes, and there's reversed piano or affected piano. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. I mean, and we didn't even fully intentionally plan on those things. It just kind of ended up happening that way, which is amazing. So another similarity between Moonlight and Bird in a Cage is that they both have the presence of this ostinato over pretty dense, like, stagnant harmony, where we had that like Lydian dominant situation happening in Moonlight.
Yes,
and then this place I don't know what the chord is offhand, but it's the same type of thing. It is
modal. Yeah, it is modal. I can't think of it exactly right now, but yeah.
It's some contrast. The ostinato and Moonlight represent the vines, which are like inherently this bad thing. The lyrics in the chorus for Bird in a Cage are "Hear voices speak, whispering you are free." The ostinato that we experience in the chorus here feels more encouraging, like it's a little nudge by these voices. But, you know, just having that presence and kind of similar harmonic context or usage, it's like how we're using the harmony is like pretty related. And you know, both of these songs were written before knowing about codependency.
Moonlight and
but
Bird,
they have that same, they're coming from that same place, like I said, in regards to my relationship with music, and it just happened to be totally applicable. So it's like I had the answers before I even had to go through all this, but that's one of those, like, it's almost funny. It's like
your intuition is trying to help you. Your subconscious is trying to help you, and it can't do that by itself. You have to come to it. You have to meet it.
Yeah.
I think another thing is that Moonlight is in relation to the side quest, right? It's like we're experiencing that external vulnerability finally, sort of in relation to codependency, right? Stepping out into this place.
Yeah.
Bird in a Cage, as we'll talk about at the end of this episode, it's really both. It's really and that's the point, kind of.
Yeah.
Like it's both internal and external vulnerability being applied to like be free from this codependency. Finally win the battle.
Yeah. And it's kind of like how, you know, we had Salt, which was tool number 1, Release, which was tool number 2, and then Light On was kind of the celebration of it.
Yes.
It's Bird in a Cage is kind of like we use both of the tools and then have this
and it's a
victory.
celebration. It's all in one.
Yeah.
Both tools, all celebration, all that vulnerability and authenticity.
Yeah.
Like what is more vulnerable than, you know, you think of Bird in a Cage, it's just a comfort zone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, what do we do when we face the possibility of leaving that cage?
Yeah. And just another cool note, like I said, this song was always special to me for the reasons that I mentioned earlier. Another reason why this one was kind of one of the more unchanged is because I had a clear vision for this one, number 1. And I was not afraid to advocate for myself in certain ways that were really, really tough. But talk about using tool number 1 and tool number 2. I did that on this song to protect this song. It was like I had some sort of like such a deep relationship with it and for what it meant. And it's like, man, if I already like stepped out and played piano the way that I did, despite everything, it's like I'm surely not going to let other things start happening. And so I got into this situation where, you know, the producer that I was working with, who's also a drummer, who, you know, had a remarkable influence on the whole album. You know, we talked about him a ton. He, like I said, we kind of left this one to the magic of the room. We didn't make a demo. It was just going to be what it was. He wanted to play on it. And at first I was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. Like, how was I supposed to know that it wasn't going to be a good fit? Like, I had advocated for other drummers for certain things, but like I said, I didn't really know what this song was going to require. And then as the day was unfolding, I just want to be clear, not everybody can be anything, or not everybody can be everything. And like we've mentioned a million times before,
think
like,
of like a casting director for
Yeah.
again, film, TV. It's like, that's a really specific,
Yeah.
insanely complex job.
oh my gosh. And we've talked about like wanting to celebrate the diversity that you can have when you have
Different
a
types of
large
people.
amount of collaboration. And yeah, so it was just unfolding where like this person was not a fit for what the song called for. And
Mhm.
that's totally fine. Like if someone asked me to go play a jazz gig tomorrow, I'd probably be like, no, it's not in my wheelhouse. Like you got to
Mhm.
know your limitations, number one, but like I just don't
Yeah.
want it to sound like I'm speaking down. It just wasn't a fit, and that's okay. There's plenty of non-fits out there. But it was this particular moment where it was like, we could have kept searching. We could have kept going. We may have gotten something better than what was just coming out. But I also had this moment of like, oh my gosh, like I've already shelled out so much money over the
Mhm.
past few days, and studio time is precious, and we do have enough time to probably get the take, you know, under the assumption of I can get someone else here. And I had two people in mind. Ross McReynolds was one of them. He just happened to be out of town. And then the other person that came to mind was Nate Felty. And I called him, and he just happened to come back from, I think he was out of town, and he like was driving back in town that day, and he had like just enough time to like go home, grab some lunch, and then get to the studio. And it was tough because I knew that if I told Daniel like, hey, I mean, I'm putting myself, I would be a wreck. I'd be devastated. It sucks to hear like, hey, you're not the one for this job.
To be fair, there's other stuff on this record where he was the person.
Totally.
Other drum grooves that just he's holding it down so hard. and
Absolutely.
It's just so tight.
Yeah. Like the shoe just didn't fit, and that was okay. But what sucked is the shoe didn't fit, and I had to make the call to like have that confrontation there for many, many different reasons. Like
Mhm.
practically, I just couldn't really afford another studio day. And if it was like we could get it done,
Everything was set up.
everything
Things
was
were
set
ready.
up, we were there, we had the time, we should just do it. And so it sucked, but it was also awesome because it was one of the few times that I really did advocate for myself.
Mhm.
And I hope that I handled it in a delicate way, and I think I did. You know, I there was nothing negative about it. It was just, this is what it is. And
Mhm.
how amazing is it that Nate can come in, and
Holy
what's
shit.
so insane is that my reference for the song was Chris Bauer's Forgetter. It's on an album of his original music, and I just love it so much, and it's super specific.
Mhm.
And not a lot of people know Chris Bauer's for his original music because he's such a huge film composer now.
Mm.
And back then, I don't even think that he had like gotten into too much. Like
Mhm.
he did Green Book, he's done Bridgerton, and I think all of that stuff happened after this time period. So
I didn't know that actually.
yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, he's awesome. He's amazing. Such an inspiration for me. So yeah, this album was kind of more obscure. And I was like, yeah, I really want to have this kind of like almost like March-like inspiration, but you know, also very jazz inspired, very free. And Nate was like, dude, I actually played Forgetter on someone's senior recital. Like I have studied that song.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no way.
What are the chances?
No way. And so he came in and just like
Absolutely
totally
destroyed.
crushed it. I mean,
Incredibly musical performance.
and again, it wasn't one of those things where it was
Inspiring.
just like he did it in a couple takes, and that just goes to show that was the right fit.
Mhm.
Like, name any other person on the universe who could do what he did in 2 takes. I can't. He's the only person that I know
Yeah.
who could do that. Like,
it's interesting what you talk about, like these few takes, like with Howie.
yeah,
Moonlight
yeah,
only took me, that performance
Yeah.
is only a couple takes for me.
yeah.
Whereas
Willing,
took a long time, especially at the end, the very end, getting that gospel side of feel. I ended up tempering it to sort of my approach.
yeah,
But it's almost like for like 6 bars of Willing, we needed a different drummer.
right,
For the rest of Willing, for the stuff with Evo, even though it wasn't a one-take thing, that was only because of the compositional approach.
yeah,
But like inherently, it's like there's something to that. I think,
Right.
you know, that Moonlight style of playing is much more deeply in my soul.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I it's totally there.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
just-
Nate Felty's soul is just all over this.
It's calling the right people for the right stuff.
Uh-huh.
And just like, you shouldn't have to struggle if someone else is just in their wheelhouse and they can do it.
Mhm.
You know, it's what best serves the song. So that's why this one didn't really have much change.
Mhm.
It's because I did a good job, a
You
little
started with
past
the
me.
piano, you got the bass,
Mhm.
and John Estes,
Played.
who was the guy who recorded some of the drums and some of the bass and some of
Yeah.
the things that are still left on some parts of this record.
Mm-hmm.
He played bass on this, and
Yeah.
man, is the bass great too.
Yeah. And I remember even,
He's a great composer.
yeah, I feel like I had some confidence in that session. I think I was the one who came up with that ostinato part for the chorus that didn't exist beforehand. And I was like, hey,
Yeah,
can
the
you do
bum,
this?
bum, bum,
Bum,
bum.
yeah. Yeah. And so it just goes to show, like, when everybody's
Vibing.
like doing what they're more like kindred to,
Mm-hmm.
things can really just like be special. You
Yeah.
know, there's no need to hit your head against the wall
Mm-hmm.
for anybody. It's like, nope, no, thank you. So, yeah, strings, keys, bass, drums were all finalized before bringing it to you.
Yeah, that's right. You wrote the string part. I remember you being like, I want to capture this rhythm here, but I'm not sure exactly what's happening. You're like, oh, what about this? What was it? And we could look at the bass, drums, and piano that was like
Done.
the take and like compose the string part around it. I mean,
Mhm.
that's cool. That's like, you know, I mean, plenty of opportunities to do that.
Yeah.
You know, which we did that all over the place. But there was something to our lessons being on that, and just like you being able to be like, I have this very finalized thing. This is the truth, and I'm composing what's to be. You know.
Right.
So one thing to really highlight about this is like, this is the penultimate song of the record, right? It's kind of in a way the end. Clarity will end up feeling a bit like the credit scene in a way.
Postlude.
The postlude. It's definitely like or what's the word? Epilogue, right? It's the clarity's kind of be more sort of the epilogue. Like Bird in a Cage is this profound moment of the record, and we'll get to that when we get to the big moment.
Yeah.
And I think it's because it's borrowing on a lot of these things. Like, it's jazz leaning, but
Mhm.
it's composed in a very focused way, right? You're not just improvising the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, you did focus. There is some stuff after in that open section, right? You did compose the strings in that section to be kind of developmental and improvisational, especially after our lessons of going back and forth to like take all that stuff, develop those ideas, which good improv
Mhm.
is that,
Right.
you know? And then we have a very focused instrumentation outside of the piano with drum set, this time upright bass, right?
Mhm.
Which we only have a little bit of upright bass on this record, only one other song.
Mm-hmm.
But we still have synthesizers, right? So it's a lot of this organic instrumentation, strings, drum set, upright bass, and even the synth that we've been calling the synthetic information, this whole record and this whole podcast. At the end of the day, most of this stuff is a Juno 106, which is an analog synthesizer, right? It is a really colorful. It has some digital aspects, right?
Mhm.
It's kind of a mixture, really, but it has a lot of natural color that analog synthesis like brings to the table.
Yeah.
That digital synthesis isn't, which you could argue that digital synthesis is even more synthetic than organic. So
yeah.
there is some argument to be like, well, yeah, that thing that's been synthetic the whole time, well, like, can't you hear how like warm and like luscious it is, and the things that it offers from being sort of semi-organic in a way?
Mhm.
And I think that's really special about it too. Also, there's a larger instrumental section at the end, which is again another thing that we have all over this record, is these moments of reflection where
Yeah.
we're just staring at ourselves in the mirror, or staring at a wall, or staring at a pond, or a reflection on the ground, or or we're just like staring off into nothing in the sky, and we're just thinking about like everything that we had just done before. We're giving the listener, again, I keep going back to movie scenes where it's
Right.
like sometimes movies don't always have just people talking to each other.
Right.
There's transitional moments where you're following somebody in a car, and music is what's important, and maybe it's like their face is making expressions or things, but there's no words being spoken for like a minute or two.
Right.
And that's what this is. It's just a moment of like no dialogue, so to speak, except there's no lyrics, no like focused formal sections.
Yeah.
Which again, we've had a lot in this record.
Right. Right. And then as it relates to Clarity, because we're talking about how it's a bridge, like what we just talked about is how it kind of relates to the album thus far.
It bridges, right? That penultimate song. Why is it penultimate? It's because it's bridging everything that's happened to Clarity.
Yeah. How it relates to Clarity is that it's a little bit more concise, you know. Clarity has a sense of like conciseness to it too.
Precision for sure.
Yeah. You know, and the root of the song is the piano. And we mentioned this earlier, but the specific piano that we used in Bird in a Cage
same piano
is the same piano and is actually the only acoustic piano on the whole entire record. Everything else virtual instrument.
Oh boy.
Just
gave that away, huh?
It's okay. We had to end up using some virtual piano and Clarity anyway.
I like the sound of it. It works. It fits the production environment.
We'll talk about why.
When we go very organic at this very end though,
right,
we needed that raw and consistent sound, which is great. It's a great sound.
Yeah, so it's like what the common thread is piano, but it's real piano. It's like the most natural piano that we've had, which is awesome for that kind of progression of things. And they're more on the chill side of things. We're kind of ramping down in regards to Schmerg.
Yeah, If I Knew Solo was like our last hurrah. And there's one moment of intensity here, and it's very focused for a reason that we'll get to.
Yeah. So, you know, for Clarity, it's just piano, voice, strings. And in Bird in a Cage, we're getting there. We're saying, let's give you something that's mostly piano, voice, strings, bass, drums. We lose bass and drums in Clarity.
Here's what's interesting about the drums. Like, there's not a lot of kick drum.
Right.
Nate was very floaty and very up, very jazz about his approach, right?
Right.
He's not like slamming the kick drum.
Right.
Like you look at the kick drum like track, and there's whole sections that have no information. Giant sections that have lots of snare drum information.
Yeah.
With nothing in the kick drum.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
You know, really interesting.
Yeah. And the most profound secondary layer to this song is the strings, which in Clarity, it's kind of the only secondary layer unless you're considering, you know, the vocoder.
Yeah.
As
the vocoder is more of an
layer.
extension of the vocals.
Correct.
It's really like vocals and piano with strings. And the vocoder's sucked in the middle of there with like following the harmony of the piano with the vocal part.
Yeah, we mentioned like the pedestal idea. It's like this is even more of the natural side of things. That it's becoming higher on that pedestal, and we're even losing some synthetic instrumentation. So, yeah, nice little bridge.
Yes.
Bird in a Cages. Yeah, so the introduction starts straight off with this string melody, which we're going to call the bird theme. Can we hear it?
Headphones engaged.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about when we said the string melody kind of harkens to Moonlight, where Moonlight starts with.
It's more like the fact that
theme.
it has a string line. It's maybe not specifically and melodically.
Yeah.
Another interesting thing about this song is, by the way, is that it's in 3.
Yeah.
3/4. That's that kind of. We've had things in 6/8. We have things in 3 in this record, but this has a different kind of feel in 3.
Totally.
Yeah. I mean, we do feel it in 6/8, right? But we'll find that it kind of, Nate plays with that really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the bird theme. It feels very, very pretty, very like birds sitting in a tree, but instead they're sitting in a cage.
They're like a cage in a tree.
Yeah, cage in a tree.
I would say.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, if we're going off the picture, huh?
Yes.
The pointillism.
That's right. It is in a tree, isn't it?
It is in a tree. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it more later.
Yeah.
And then, that kind of just takes us right into verse 1. Like, the only other thing that we have going on in that opening few bars is piano. And
then that verby piano we added way later.
Yeah.
Here's the piano by itself. Some of that raw piano.
And that's it.
Right? We keep going with that texture. And then we have this other little distant thing that was a previously recorded piano, correct?
kind of gives us this ominous
Right.
feel.
And when we add those two together, it's just like, it kind of just a little gestural thing.
I spend so much time.
Right. It just kind of just this little inquisitive textural thing there.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we get to the verse, that piano thing stays in, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Something notable is that we just have lead vocals. There's no BGVs on this whole entire song, which,
No BGVs.
if we're going back to that Moonlight and Bird in a Cage correlation, the only BGVs that we had in Moonlight was when we were speaking it from a different character's point of view.
Mhm.
We were being the moon when we had the presence of BGVs. So it makes perfect sense, even though we didn't think of this,
Mhm.
that we wouldn't have BGVs because there's no other character. It's just narrator.
It also feels like a jazz tune, right? Where it's just
Yeah.
like that singer just sitting in front of the band singing, but this isn't traditionally sound like jazz. It's borrowing from that idiom, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And then the drums are just doing so much text painting.
Yes.
And so they're so informed by the melody and the lyrics. It's insane that I only sent this song to Nate like on his car ride over. Like I swear I called him and then he was there within an hour. So he had 1 hour to listen to this song.
Mhm.
And you think of stereotypically, you know, a drummer is trying to listen to music, trying to think of the groove or whatever. The fact that anybody, not just a drummer, is paying so much attention. I didn't send him the lyrics. He just like knew that he wanted the lyrics to inform so much of his decision making, which is such just a beautiful and intentional thing.
Yeah. Let's listen to that for a second and just see.
I spend so much time trapped inside my mind, spinning uncontrollably. I'm dizzy and tired, with vision so blurry.
Like in between the words spinning and dizzy,
Yeah.
he has that coolest. It's so cool.
Yeah, and even he does dizzy, he does this he does this like little embellishments in exactly that moment, you know.
Yeah, it's so good.
Mm-hmm. Also, I love the late entrance of the drums.
Of
We
course.
experienced that in Candle, right? Way back earlier in this record,
Mhm.
you know, that little the sentiment that we get from like getting into the verse. Oh, where are the there's the drums, right?
Yeah.
And I think that that's really potent as well.
Yeah.
And bass enters with drums too. We just didn't play it there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, our little background piano that swells that we showed you before, that leads us to that entrance, right? So if I bring that piano in and that's that other piano and then this bass and then the drums here, we have this. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
So good. And we mentioned this, but, you know, using brushes on this song was the exact right move.
Absolutely.
Yet another Moonlight connection. I'm hearing Kermit the Frog voice. Someday we'll find it. The Moonlight
Wait,
connection.
why?
It's like Rainbow Connection.
Why though?
Because we keep on talking about how this is connected to Moonlight.
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah.
What is the there's another thing here.
Inside my
Yeah, that's this is all entrapped.
Yeah.
The entrance of the drums and bass
Yeah.
and what that thing is leading to, it's leading to the word trapped.
I spend so much time
Fairly passive lyric.
trapped inside my mind.
Right.
Spinning uncontrollably.
Right? Bird in a cage. Trapped inside my mind, right?
Yeah.
That's the vibe.
Absolutely. Trapped inside my mind is kind of foreshadowing, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. So then we get to the chorus. There's no pre-chorus in this song.
Mm-hmm.
One of the few.
Yeah. It kind of just like pauses,
Mm-hmm.
takes a breath, and hits.
Yeah.
Right?
That's actually, I don't think that there's any song that does just that.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
A lot of transitional material. And it worked. This works really well. We just change focus. Bam. Looking at a different shape, looking at a different wall with different art on it.
Yeah. And this is where we experience that polymeter for the first time. So,
right.
Yeah.
If you listen to it just by itself, right? Just the piano. Let me grab the guitar too.
One, two, three, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2.
Oh, really?
3.
Yeah, gotcha. What I was doing
2.
was 6.
No, that is technically the meter,
Right.
But the big 3 is happening too.
Gotcha.
Like, because you can also think 2, the 6, 8, 2, 3, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's this big hemiola happening. Gong, 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 gong. What's also really cool is like it's the Steve Reichian kind of like, you know, there's 3, 4, there's 6, 8, there's 12, 8. It's all kind of happening when you do things in like compound meter. You the rhythm in the left hand is kind of 12, 8-ish, you know. Jump, 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 to jump, to jump, 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 chicka, jump, 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 to jump, to jump, right? Especially if we bring, let's bring in the bass actually. Yeah, so especially like the lower end of the piano where there's, it's not the upright bass. That's right. This is this thing about this synth awareness is that there's this Moog bass on this chorus that's built to sound kind of like an upright bass.
Yes.
In its articulation and decay. So check this out. Right? Like a lot of different vibes going on there. And this whole time, we would think drums, right? We would think drums are going to say, they're going to solve the problem. They're going to tell us what to think and feel. Nate's kind of in 6/8, but like he's really just floating.
Right.
Like,
and that's where that forgetter influence comes in, where I'm like, I want it to be marchy, but he achieved exactly the marchiness.
Yeah, it's like
that I wanted, because you tell most drummers
sense.
Like marchy, they're gonna whip out the snare, salute you, and he just knew exactly the spirit of what I was going for because he knew that reference so well.
Absolutely. The guitar came actually much later too. I just want to mention that. Like this was like, oh, chapter 3 has a lot of acoustic guitar. That line would work perfect. And this was way, way later. I remember telling you, being like, just hear me out.
Yeah.
I figured this shit out. And it's so guitaristic. And in some ways, we had to hire my buddy Alex, who's a classically trained guitarist, to play these voicings so that way all 4 of these notes could resonate. And he could play very precisely and very evenly and have dynamic shifts. Because like I could do it, but like it just wasn't the same.
Yeah. So we get to the interlude and the bird theme returns, the do-do-do-do thing.
And you have a little responsive moment,
it's
right?
Echoed in a lower octave and then elaborated on with upward movement. So let's hear that.
In this world
Yeah.
of fantasy,
Same thing with the delay,
my
right? The drums come in a little earlier in that next section. I love that.
Yeah. But I love that we still don't have bass and drums in this
Yeah,
section.
the interlude is very free. It's very much a pause. It's very much a departure.
Right.
And these synths right here are wonderful too, mimicking the string.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah. So when we get the drums and bass, like you said, they come in a little bit earlier, which I love that dichotomy. It's kind of like the first verse, but it's its own new thing. And what it helps to really do is just kind of give us some forward direction. It propels us forward.
Mm-hmm. And also leading into that verse from the interlude, I want to show just like this this incoming piano that kind of, it swells before the verse, but it kind of leads us into the verse, I think, as well. right? And then we're out.
Mhm.
Like, and I think that there's just so much energy, right? Helps just lift up, right? That second phrase.
Yeah.
World of fantasy. There you are, right there. All this fantasy we talk about in Moonlight and these other songs, and tying in all these themes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The next line though is my honest grip is slipping.
Mhm.
You know, so it's that awareness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, totally, and just thank you, subconscious.
Yeah.
You ever like love the Happy Accident so much that then you almost start to have like retro anxiety of like, oh my God, like it's almost so crazy that this thing happened the way that it did. I get nervous for the world in which it didn't happen. Like, oh my God, I don't know.
No.
Does that make sense?
Nope.
Oh my gosh, I think about it all the time.
I don't even know what you're saying.
Like the butterfly effect type thing, where it's like you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea in the moment that because the sequence of events, I ended up with this result, that you can look back and you kind of, whatever. We don't need to talk about that. Sound like fucking stoner.
Sound like you had a fucking butterfly effect.
No.
All right. Yeah, and the way that also the drums come in at the beginning of the tune, they're very straightforward, right? Like verse 1, and then it's just
Trapped inside my mind, spinning uncontrolled.
right, and they're doing things, but it's like that is brushes on snare drum, right?
Right.
Now when we get drums in verse 2 though, it's like it's linear and there's this phrasing and rim clicks and cymbals, and there's all of a sudden like there's rhythmic melody happening here.
Mm-hmm.
Out of fantasy, my honest grip is slipping.
Snares, clicks, toms, ride, kick, buzzing on snare, hi-hat. Again, the awareness of the vocals in that freaking drumming is so insane to me.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
We get some
All those
of those
Juno
like
things.
blossomy, flourishy things that we have like in
The
Lydon.
prettiest little Juno flowers ever.
Mm-hmm.
I love these things. Mm-hmm.
Tired. Perfection. Just absolute perfection.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And right here, although we've had this kind of weird reverse delayed piano thing happening, we have a very, very significant reverse piano that shoots us into chorus.
Yes, right. This little thing here. This I left this in. You know, just a little piano thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And if I add the piano and the key environment that we have there.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Really sucks us into that chorus.
Yeah. And again, we don't have any other transitional material between verse 2 and chorus. We just kind of splat right into it,
Mhm.
which is why the song is kind of, you know, there's an argument for it's on the simpler side, but it's not, but it is, but it's not, but it is. It's a perfect bridge.
Mhm.
So we get into chorus 2 and we double the chorus, right? Because lyrically, it's this hear voices speak. We heard it once in chorus 1, and it does take some encouragement sometimes.
This
It's like,
chorus is very important.
It
It's the lead.
is.
It's the beginning. This chorus is the beginning of the lead up to arguably, narratively, one of
Mhm.
the most important points on the whole record,
correct.
right? The
It is
beginning of
the
this,
moment.
This chorus is leading to the moment that we've all been waiting for.
It's the climax.
It's the climax.
It really
of
is.
the
We're
narrative.
getting there. So of course we want some more time and room to have some more anticipation and more room for growth.
The cello digging in,
Yeah.
some energy. We have this anticipation immediately. I love that. And the left-hand piano stuff, the fifths.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that was Maggie.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember that being Maggie digging in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right, because that was at This was recorded just like Willow, just like Light On.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Toy Box.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we have the cello doubling that thing, which adds to this like intensity or aggression or agitation.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, funny enough, we can go back to the conversation we were having in the last
Mhm,
episode.
mhm. It's a low
And-
rhythmic thing. It's a low register rhythmic thing.
Yeah, which, you know, in last episode we were talking about how this drum and bass thing was more masculine leaning. Here we
Or could have
go,
been.
or could have been,
Could be interpreted.
could be, yeah.
Mm.
And in our notes, we didn't end up saying this. It was funny because it was like, you know, I wish that I could hear those things and like not associate it with gender or masculinity at all. But in this, you know, it was like, however, I didn't write that. A man did write it. So there's something like undeniable about that. In this case, though, this aggressive, agitated, low register thing, I did that.
Yeah.
That was my
and
idea.
Maggie played it.
And Maggie played it. Go us.
Mm-hmm.
Just another interesting kind of little
Absolutely.
path to go down.
Yeah, totally.
Guitar is a little louder.
Yeah, guitar's
this
more
time.
present. We're just trying to bring attention to that weird hemiola that's kind of warping our perception. We're trying to spin things and get things kind of like, okay, here we go.
The piano has this cool little line that, of course, I was very proud of when I played it, and we kept it. And then and the guitar, you ended up having Alex just completely
Oh yeah, this at the end.
Double.
Ba-do-do-do-da-da-do-do.
double, which
Yeah.
shoots us into the second iteration of the chorus. It's kind of this off-kiltered, like we already talked about having all of these different kind of meters going on. Then we have this other thing, which feels kind of stumbly and jolty, but still creates this suspense and anticipation to get to the second half of the chorus.
Yeah, and the second half has some strummed guitar that I put on there too. That's
didn't
like
know about
that's
that.
like low register, like wide voiced acoustic. That's like like very incubus-y actually.
Can we hear piano and just
Yeah.
guitars?
Yeah, totally. Let's listen. Yeah, right?
I didn't
You never
know
heard
about that.
So check this out, right? The guitar and the vocal, right? You could hear that the guitar is just following the vocal.
Voices speak, whispering you are free.
Yeah.
Ooh, hear
I worked
voices
for a minute on this.
speak, whispering you
Right? And this whole time we have this strummy rhythm thing, which is like going along this organicism with this Moog bass. Bass is picking up some energy. Right? It's all picking up that energy. One thing we didn't mention in the first chorus is we have flying snakes in these choruses.
Ah, yes.
Oh, and a lighter homage to the mind snakes that we had, right?
Right.
And these are a synth line following this ostinato too, this hemiola.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Right? And we put that, oh, and then that follows it. Right? And we have that all together, and we can hear that ostinato really being celebrated there. And then it'll come from left to right. It just adds a little bit of motion under there.
God, I
right?
love that guitar chord.
It's huge.
Dude.
And when it's with everything else, we really just like feel that because we're about ready. Like we're really trying to
Yes.
agitate that emotional state because I'm getting excited thinking about it, right? It's just like this
know.
is about to be this huge thing, and it's not the thickest texture we've ever had in the record, right?
No.
It's just has this forward momentum and this purity to it that I
Yeah.
think is part of the point. It's a
Right.
distillation of all these concepts.
Yeah. Nate did such an awesome thing.
Oh my God.
So my keys,
I know.
before we get to this break,
Mm-hmm.
I had played this like dot 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 keys rhythm. However, open to interpretation. Just because I played that doesn't mean a drummer had to do that.
Mhm.
You know, Nate just did such a good job of. Can we maybe just play the keys and the drums and. Because the bass that we had wasn't on there originally, right? That wasn't being performed in the studio session. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure. It was bass that I received, so
Oh,
it might
okay.
have been because I could.
Or then
I
it was
think
being
John
played at the same time. So why don't we just hear,
bass, keys, and piano, or drums?
yeah, just
trio?
to take all of those amazing layers that we kind of
Yeah.
added after the
Uh-huh.
fact away, and again with just what I gave Nate.
Mm-hmm.
How the heck did he come up with this thing? Like it still just blows
Yeah.
my mind.
There's that march on with sticks now, but not
Right.
too marchy. Because it's varied, right? Left foot comes in. Oh,
Like what?
that like partial triplet fill, the amount of tension that it creates is so genius.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gosh, and then you hear everything.
And the bass is increasing. I mean, it's just all really working together very intentionally.
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
And then we arrive.
We arrive.
You know?
Ooh, gives me chills.
Yeah.
When we realize this in podcast planning.
In podcast planning.
Yeah, it's like this is it.
This is it.
Yeah.
So let's play from the second half of the course, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And would you mind trying to pause before everything else comes in?
There's a little bit of a delay, so I will try my best.
Okay.
Voices speak, whispering you are free. Voices speak, whispering you are free.
What just happened?
What just happened?
I'll tell you. The last word that we heard is free, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you take that last line, strip away the hear voices speak whispering, you could just put a period there.
Mhm.
The last thing that we hear is you are free.
Think about it. What do you do when you're standing on the precipice of something, right? Your inner voices are being like, you got this.
Yeah.
You got this. You're
Yeah.
going to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it.
You got to do it. You got to do it. And
Mhm.
this is the moment where we take the leap.
The leap is taken. The bird has jumped.
We are using tool number 1, which is demonstrating external vulnerability and authenticity, because it is an external action, this leap. However, imagine you're a bird that's, it's kind of cliche, but imagine that you've been in your little safety zone for so long, or you haven't flown, your little baby bird. Like, it's the external action in conjunction with the internal confidence and expression
That
and
you've
demonstration that
manifested
you have
yourself.
manifested yourself
Yeah.
without the validation from others, which is inherently
Without the
codependent.
temptation.
Without
This
anybody
is the
else
difference
around.
between
There's no
Moonlight
yes.
and bird.
There's no secondary character. The voices speak is you. It's
Mhm.
internal. So it is a coming together of tool 1 and tool 2. you do it, and it's this moment where it's a tiny little cliffhanger. It's not as big as Willing, because we're still in the context of the same song. It's a free fall for a moment. Maybe there's that doubt that you're not going to be able to do it, but you do.
Yeah. It's like the bird jumps and doesn't open its wings immediately.
Right. And there's maybe a moment of panic, and you go through, basically you have a mini version of the whole narrative
Yes.
that happens again.
Mm-hmm.
And you land at the same conclusion, convincing yourself, like, no, the consequence of these actions coming together will result in everything that I want and desire. This improved, enhanced, deepened quality of life, relationships, everything. And then we get the music that comes back in, and that's just like our little board.
A little board. It's
Our-
a little baby board.
Our little bird is,
Floating over, just free.
yeah, and it's just taking in the view, and it's basking in the positive consequences of taking what we learned, applying them, and yielding growth, healing, positive results.
Mm-hmm. That's the development after this section. And we think of the speck of dust, right, from earlier on this
We
record at the
do.
beginning. And there was a sense of curiosity there, but it was kind of like a naive curiosity. It's just like,
Mhm.
oh, there's more to this world.
And we weren't
And it was
experiencing it for
floating,
ourselves.
And it was just kind of like, oh, passers-by. Now the bird is in control. It's not a speck of dust
Yeah.
being carried by the wind, right?
Speck of Dust is very fear-driven.
Mm-hmm.
If you go back to that Dylan Thomas poem,
Mm-hmm.
the emotion that I was experiencing when I was relating to that poem was, don't fuck up your life and waste your time. It was
Yeah.
this harsh, like,
Mhm.
you have to do it for these reasons. Like,
Yes.
you have to do it so you don't waste your talent and you don't
Mhm.
waste your potential. And that's why it was so important to me to kind of take that song and deliver the harsh message in a way that felt loving and kind and gentle. But alas, it's not a loving, kind, and gentle message. It's
Mhm.
do these things so that you don't mess up your life and that you're not going to regret shit before you die.
Mhm.
That sucks. This is a more mature relationship to that same idea.
And thus more focused, too.
More focused, more aware, more informed. So, of course, our experience of, like, we jumped out of the cage, we jumped off the cliff, we had this moment of will we, won't we fly, and then we do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like our like emotional. It's like a reclamation, finally.
It is.
I don't know if I'm just tired or what, but this is crazy.
Yeah.
Because we made the record and then it's like, that didn't feel like enough. We have to do this podcast. And even this podcast is like, I don't know if people are going to listen, but there's something in me that told me that it's the right thing to do. So I guess we'll see. But there's a lot of trust that it takes and self-confidence. And I guess I'm kind of realizing I got there again by like making this. I don't know. Ooh, I'm gonna have to explore this kind of thing, but like, it's interesting.
Do you want to take a second?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
It's cool. Yeah.
This is what art should do for us.
Yeah.
Like this is why art exists, I think, in society, and why we work hard on digging deep is because you think of the aspect of therapy and like what that is, right? Like
Yeah.
therapy is hard, deep, constant, over and over again work of breaking things down and defining little aspects of idiosyncrasies of things we've experienced and people we've interacted with and things that we do and, how we act and how we relate.
Yeah.
And I think that that making music and making any form of art is, and attempting to dig into it and care about the minutia and care about these little details is, we're obligated to do that, because if in therapy, if we're encouraged in psychological practice to psychoanalyze these little aspects of ourselves, to find and define more deeply what we do, I think that in the arts we must, it's as if, again, I referenced the muse. Again, I'm not a very cosmic person, but it's as if the muse is requiring us to do so.
Yeah.
You know, we have to honor the fact that it is coming about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I think what I'm experiencing is that it's like in creating this podcast, I'm going through this same learning process of exemplifying these tools. And it's this lifelong battle, you know, like this album has been written for years now. And in a way, I've kind of already relived it again within the confines of another relationship or in like a business endeavor. You know, it just comes up over and over again. But coming back to it and taking such a deep dive and relating again and again to like where this comes from and why I have these insane inclinations to go to the lengths that we've gone to.
Yeah.
Based off of intuition,
Yeah.
but also reason and risk yielding positive outcome, having trust in that, right? It's like, I don't know. It's very interesting.
Yeah. It doesn't surprise me that this is the moment in the podcast that has brought you to this emotional place.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be that. We found that, right?
Right.
A lot of that intuition and subconscious has led us to create something that and order the progression of concepts in a way that has brought us to this point. I think that we should kind of outline just like the last kind of statement of this record before the sort of epilogue, and that's this outro where what's the beginning of the outro is it's our bird theme that we've heard, right? And let's remind everybody of what that is. Like intro is bird theme. Right? Interlude is bird theme. With response. Right?
Yeah.
Same thing, and now beginning of outro, we hear this.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's not, what's interesting is it's not a very long statement. And I think that whereas a lot of places in this record, we're contemplating the thoughts of the song in these outro moments. Two things. I think one, this is like the bird is free. Like the bird is going.
Right.
The bird is flying away, right? This fade away. And it's just like, there it is.
Yeah, we're kind of watching it from this third party perspective.
Exactly. And also clarity is the moment of final, just like sitting in it. The simplicity of that instrumentation is the moment of sitting in everything from Bird in a Cage, everything that sums up the record, all the record itself. So we kind of need to kind of shorten that in because it's been a long journey.
Right.
We don't need to kind of go super long right now. You know, we need to get to the end and be putting we need to put a final sort of period on the end of this page of the final chapter of this record.
Well, and also, I love that we've been relating things back to film so often. I love endings when it's done well, where they end, but you obviously know that the story doesn't end there. The story keeps going.
Right.
This is just where we're splitting ways.
Yes.
This is that same type of thing. It's almost too short. Not too short. It's short on purpose because I would like to leave the listener with the feeling that this story keeps on going. This is just where, you know, where we're going to see each other at a later date type thing, you know?
Right. We'll find the bird. We'll find this character through the codependency thread or whichever, you know, it'll come back potentially.
Like listener goes in on their day and they just know the little bird's out there still doing its own thing, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
One other thing to mention about the string arrangement, just because we've touched on it before in If I Knew, talking about not thinking about things so blocky.
Mm-hmm.
The underlayer of the melodic, like the bird theme material that we're
Mhm.
getting, is all inspired by the "You Are Free" line,
Yeah.
actually. So we have these elongated, kind of overlapping, supportive lines that we're getting that are all kind of like this globular thing that's, you know, it really shouldn't take the shining like center of everything, but it is just
Counter melody, yeah.
it's just fun to know that all those counter melodies are still inspired by the "You Are Free,"
Which is
because
the end of the chorus, right?
yeah, and just it's the coming togetherness of those two voices.
Mhm.
It's the bird recognizing that the "You Are Free" isn't something else that's external, it's internal.
Absolutely.
So I love that.
Here's the "You Are Free" line.
Whispering you are free.
Right?
Yeah.
And then go to the end.
Maybe let's just hear the strings.
Yep. And then we get just strings. Bird theme.
Yeah, like you could,
Mm-hmm.
and then "You Are Free" should be what
Yeah,
draws upon
absolutely.
that. Yeah, it's crazy listening to those strings alone.
Yeah, I also what's really interesting, like I didn't run this string session,
I know.
right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of, and I actually like it about this, and I think it's really appropriate, but it's cool to kind of acknowledge that, like, there's a couple tuning things in that.
Yeah.
Right? We can
Yeah.
acknowledge that. The listener probably knows that they have an adept ear.
Right.
And it kind of is okay. There's an authenticity to that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a real authenticity to that, especially when you hear that, you know, when you put the strings with other harmonic instruments, it's not gonna be as highlighted when we have
Right.
other interpretive things happen. So we put this, you know, we put the keys in, and all of a sudden we have. Right? I mean, it
Right.
just sounds raw. It sounds true. It sounds
Yeah.
it sounds just this barren expression. Mm-hmm.
And there's no better song to reject perfectionism,
Mm-hmm.
which we've clearly linked to codependency, than this one, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And one fun little bit about the end is that
That symbol.
that cymbal, the cymbal scrape that Nate does there, and with a stick on a cymbal like this that ends up making that kind of screech sound.
Yeah.
There was something about it that it was so close to being in tune with the song that I had to pitch it.
Mm-hmm.
This is you were like, this is such a classic Aaron thing. Just like sing this.
It is
You know,
such a
like-
classic Aaron thing, but it's so right.
That thing is just a half step up. It was a half step off. So I was just like, come
Might as
on,
well.
it's that close. We got to put it there. You know what I mean? Like, listen to the piano. Right?
Mhm.
Again, it's not, what is that chord at the very end, actually? That's a D flat in the cymbal.
I
Do
think
we-
it's like a B major 7.
Yeah, like whatever it is, it's highlighting.
I don't know. Oh, A flat minor.
It's
Kinda
that
like it's 11.
On a minor, I love a minor 11.
Yeah.
It's so colorful. So like we just wanted to like really emphasize that color at the end
Yeah.
in this really beautiful place. And also this little keys environment thing that we have, it has this great little rhythmic thing that perfectly, it twists. Right?
Yeah.
Love the way that it kind of just like comes together.
Yeah. Amazing.
To put a period on the end of pretty much the entire record narrative. So let's
It's
finish
time.
up our narrative here, huh?
Yeah. So we conclude our main quest. This is the finale.
Mm-hmm.
We learned that synthesizing our two separate tools into kind of one mega tool is really what has happened, right? Like,
we were saying two sides of one coin,
We
this
were- yeah,
authenticity
yeah.
or vulnerability thing.
exactly. So they're definitely intertwined and connected and need to be used together. We learned that they don't work separately all the way. We can have some small victories, but not an overall win. So the narrator versus codependency thread, we gained our learning from the side quest. We got our tools. And what do the tools do is that they yield healing. And that's the main thing, right? And that's what we've been trying to go for. We had a small win in Moonlight by demonstrating one of them. We kind of still went on this path. We had some backsliding in If I Knew. And then this is the synthesis of everything when we realize, okay, if we use both of them together in this main narrative, we can overcome codependency, which, you know, is really just a day-by-day choice and dedication.
Yes, that's a magical moment.
No, it's
But
not.
it is a bit magical.
Right. And we had to learn to trust in that process, right? It's pivotal that we didn't just get to the outro of this song without some hold your breath, oh shit, what's going to happen moment, right? Because there's so much to be said about having the confidence and trust in the process first, acting on that knowledge, and then the positive results come, right? It's never without risk, which is what we learned in Moonlight. So we applied tool 1, we applied tool 2.
Yeah, I think to say, you know, tool 1 being external and tool 1 being internal, we applied the internal one kind of first. Like that the bird character here is internally like preparing for this and getting ready to listen to their inner voices. And
Correct.
There's almost another word that we didn't include that might be an example of another tool even, or an aspect of this vulnerability and authenticity, which is like honesty.
Correct.
Like being honest with oneself, I think, is like being authentic with oneself. I think those are kind of somewhat synonymous. Being honest with other people or being authentic, it's being authentic. It's showing your authentic self to someone else, you know? So I think that there's an honesty there that the bird finds, and then that external vulnerability is like, I'm literally going to jump from a height.
Right.
Yet I will catch myself because I'm a bird. I have wings.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know I had them because I was stuck in a cage my whole life, right?
Yeah, I've never used them before.
But there's instinct there. Animals have that animal instinct. It's just like, well, it's time to, you know, it's not like the first time a bird leaves the nest, they just fall and hit the ground and die.
Right.
Like they open their wings up.
Right.
I mean, I guess I'm not a biologist, but I'm pretty sure that's what happens.
Instinct kicks in eventually.
May would know, right?
Instinct kicks in,
Right.
or it doesn't, and I guess that's survival of the fittest. And that's a
Natural
whole different other
selection.
thing.
Yep, that's a different conversation.
This is not for that. But yeah, so it's everything. It's everything that we learned from our side quest, and a focus and an emphasis on applying internal honesty, vulnerability, authenticity, and then a coming together, and then just the biggest win of all time.
Yeah. Won the war against codependency.
At least this time.
This
you know?
time.
You know, but I will say that the first win is huge.
Yeah.
Right? Because just like we gained this like scientific method from the side quest, but really because codependency is this ever-present affliction, you don't really know that it's going to work. We used the scientific method to try to get ourselves out of our old thoughts and patterns and behaviors, but you don't really know until you know. So this first big proof of, hey, try to do these things, step out, take your risk, be curious, go for a deeper, more fulfilling life, you know, in the realm of codependency. This is amazing because then everything gets easier after that. Like, yes, you do make the same mistakes. However, it's easier for you to get out of them. And maybe you don't let these codependent relationships go on so long, or you catch yourself before things get really, really bad because you know how good it can be with the context of, hey, I've overcome it in a really, really big way, and now I have that learning that I can bring and apply and reference,
Mm-hmm.
which is motivating to keep on doing the work.
Yeah.
So the first big win, I mean, yeah, it is kind of like you win this biggest battle that you'll probably ever have to face
In the war.
in this specific
Yeah.
territory,
Yeah. Absolutely.
which is huge, right? And change thread,
to wrap up our change thread.
yeah, taking risks manifests change.
Mm-hmm.
That it's
Change
simple as
requires
that.
trying to make things. If you want things to change, it's
Yeah.
going to potentially require a risk.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right. Wow, we made it.
Boy, did we!
Okay, so our second to last takeaway time. It's nothing we haven't heard before.
Yeah. Back to the intuition variable.
Mm-hmm.
Choosing the correct collaborators. Don't sacrifice the vision. And also, instrumental composition supporting the narrative. We've been talking about this the whole time. It's
Right.
a really important piece of the puzzle, and all we're doing essentially by breaking down these songs is showing, like, look what having an intention can do for leading us through this narrative to this point.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and we hope that maybe you experiment with that. You know, a little bit. I always want to encourage people that I work with and help and teach. You know, just challenge that intuition and jump into just like thinking about 15 more things than you think you should sometimes.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
more is more sometimes.
More is more.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
I want people who think more is more to be empowered and not feel like they have to think less is more. Because the less is more people are going to be like, no, but less is more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not talking to those people.
Bye.
I'm talking to the more is more people who are like, but I feel so much pressure to have to be less is more, and I don't want to be. It's like, don't do that.
Really, it's all about just
As I said before, it's the right amount is more.
the right amount is more, but going through as much as possible mentally to just make sure that whatever you're landing on is the right decision is always going to feel better in the end.
I think so.
I don't have,
It's not even more stuff is more. It's more thought.
it's
is
more thought and more justification and more conversations and rationalizations and limitations. All of that stuff just casts you into this place of a security and a confidence that you made the right decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And that feels so good.
Yeah, especially after spending money on a whole record. The least you want is to know that you did everything you fucking could to like nail it,
Yeah. Yeah. More is more.
right?
Mm-hmm. And speaking of more, we only have one more.
One more. The titular track of the album now.
Right.
The
But
name
the
of the
epilogue.
record. But the postlude to our full journey
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll see you there,
for the final one.
where we'll be talking about clarity. On
Clarify.
Clarify. Okay, bye.
Bye.